Up now, and we can go live.
Okay.
So hopefully we're live now. Welcome back, everybody. This is the first inning, and we're live on YouTube right now. And you can also find us on Spotify. Just Google the First Inning Radio Show, and you'll be able to find that on any platform you listen to. And today is also my birthday, which I'm celebrating here with you guys on YouTube as well. And hopefully the Yankees win in this season. And today would have been the All Star game as well. So that's another sad part. But let's get this party started. What's up, Roger?
Hello. Good morning, BxBomber, and happy birthday to you. And it was this time last year, as of yesterday, that you and me and Giselle were at the Brooklyn Cyclones game.
Yeah.
And that was a hot day. And the Cyclones won 4-1 over West Virginia. And that was a fun day. It was Spider-Man Day, and they had all the superheroes there. And we went on the field and threw the baseball. And that is a good vlog from the 2019 season that you have on. It's hard to believe it's been a year already.
Yeah, man. And another thing, too, about that day, I got you a bunch of autographs from the players,
Yes,
which,
I
which
have
so
that ball sitting right up on my.
yeah, man, and which so happens they won the championship in that last year too. The Cyclones became the champions, so they're actually undefeated champions so far. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, we had so many plans for this year. I was planning on getting to 9 games at Yankee Stadium, and there was a possibility of you coming down the beginning of July to see the Yankees at in Baltimore against the
Yeah,
Orioles, and we were going to the top of the World Trade Center, and we would have seen the Cyclones at the end of the season. But because of all the horrible things that have happened this year, all of that has been put to rest for now, and we'll see what the future holds in September.
yeah, man. I don't know what's gonna happen now. A lot of states, a lot of the most of the southern states are infected. So let's see what happens with the years. But those states that are infected weren't infected before, so it's like it's a wave going through. You know what I mean? Type of
Right,
thing. So once that's over, hopefully life could go back to normal again. You know?
right. It is. I really have a feeling that this is going to be here for quite a while. And as of right now, the states of Arizona and California and Texas and Florida are getting hit very, very hard. And California is talking about shutting the economy down now again. And if there's another major shutdown in the country, we'll see how it affects baseball. I know baseball is not the most important thing happening in the world today, but we'll see what happens. And hopefully, we'll be able to get it in because I'm really looking forward to enjoying some Major League Baseball this year. But it has been a very, very difficult year.
Yeah, I think no matter what, they're still gonna play anyway because the Major League Baseball is in coincidence with the CDC guidelines and all that. So they already have
Right,
those measurements in place for this type of thing and to go on. So they're still gonna play no matter what. But
right.
I doubt.
And
Hopefully, it doesn't get any worse than what it is.
yeah, I know it is just a very, very rough situation. And to start the show off today, I have a nice article about Yankees notes, a few minutes long, if you would like me to read
All
it.
right, cool. Let's hear it.
Okay, starting off with the Yankees notes. Aaron Judge is continuing to progress as he deals with the stiff neck that has kept him out of the Yankees' last three inter-squad games, and the slugger appears to be in a good spot moving forward to be ready to go opening day, according to manager Aaron Boone. Judge took on-field practice and appeared in right field prior to an inter-squad contest on Tuesday at Yankee Stadium. Boone said that Judd has been receiving treatment since he reported the stiffness Saturday, prompting his removal from that day's lineup. I do feel like it's a short term thing that he'll work through, Boone said. I know he was probably fairly close to considering playing. We'll see how he comes out of his treatment and make that decision, see where we're at. If these were regular season games, Boone said, Judge would likely be lobbying to play. I think he'd probably be pushing to get in, knowing him, Boone said. It just would have come down to, from a swing standpoint, how much would it affect him? How much could it be something that leads to a bad habit or something like that? Boone remains confident that Judge will gather the necessary turns at plate and in the field prior to the July 23rd season opener against the Nationals. Even in the weeks leading up to the summer camp, he was really starting to be able to get after it a little bit, Boone said. His response to that, being ramped up and letting it go from a swing standpoint, was really encouraging. Boone, before camp even opened, Garrett Cole was here that first day, and Judge was able to get live at bats. He's done a lot of work off the high speed machines and things like that. So I feel really good about much he's been able to build up. And there is a second chance for Matt Duffy, who has come to the Yankees. When Matt Duffy fielded interest from both the Rangers and the Yankees this past offseason, the veteran infielder took a hard look at each team's roster, deciding that Texas provided a clearer path for playing time. Then, when Duffy was left out of the Rangers' 60-man player pool, he was elated to discover that the Yanks hadn't forgotten about him. It doesn't always work out that way, said Duffy, who signed a minor league contract with New York on June 28th. It was a very up and down couple hours to get a call from the Rangers manager, Chris Woodward, saying that you're not coming to summer camp is not ideal. You start wondering where you're going to be for the off season, what you're going to do in the meantime. To get the interest from the Yankees that was there in the off season, I'm extremely thankful. A third baseman by trade, Duffy has played all but 49 of his 426 big league games with the Giants and Rays at third base. With second baseman DJ LeMahieu's status uncertain due to a positive COVID-19 test, Duffy is being considered to play in the middle of the Bombers' infield. Tyler Wade and Tyro Estrada have been listed among the other options at second base, where Duffy has played only 18 games, 12 starts. Nowadays, with modern shifting in infield play, I think you've got to see yourself as a defender in the infield, Duffy said. If you see yourself as a third baseman or as a shortstop, you're keyholing yourself into one spot. As a shortstop, you're playing really all over the diamond on both sides of the bag. As a third baseman, you're playing the entire left side. Coming from Tampa Bay, where they like to move guys around a lot and play matchups as much as possible, I got a lot of work at different positions. Maybe not game reps, but it's certainly not a place that I'm uncomfortable with. And as far as Jordan Montgomery is locked in. Jordan Montgomery struck out 6 batters over 4 innings in Tuesday's inter-squad game, acknowledging some fatigue in his final frame. The left-hander said that he has no difficulty looking past his teammates in the box, focusing on his goal of scoring a slot in the Bombers' rotation. These feel pretty good, pretty game-like to me. He said these inter-squad games feel pretty game-like to me because that's how I'm wired, Montgomery said. Once the guy's in there, I want to beat him. It's like they're my friends, but also I don't want them to be able to talk junk to me. I'm excited to face some guys from other teams and to get the season going with this team. I think we're going to be really good. So there are a few of the Yankee notes going on for the intra-squad game. And it looks like Judge will be ready for opening day.
Yeah, well, it's a stiff neck as what they claim,
Right.
and as we seen, it's probably that Range Rover he's driving. You know that, right? Because he's so big and the Range Rover's so
Yeah.
small, so he gotta like drive like this in the car. That's the problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He
But
probably has the seat pushed all the way back to the back seats. He's probably got the driver's seat pushed all the way back to the farthest level at 6'8" and 280 pounds. My goodness.
Yeah, because he looks really big in that car. We seen him about 3 times already at Yankee Stadium this year,
Right.
and he looks really big in the car. So it could, it could be something to do with it, man. He might need a bigger truck or something, man. He needs a car with a sunroof so he could stick his head out the sunroof and he could drive like that. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my goodness.
Stick his
Yes,
head.
exactly.
Just wear your mask. That's all.
Exactly. And those. Oh, by the way, Clint Frazier is planning on wearing the mask while he is playing. Clint Frazier, if you saw in yesterday's game,
Yeah.
he has the cover over his face. So I don't know how he's going to play and be able to breathe properly
He's gonna
with
die.
that mask on his face.
He's gonna die.
So,
He's gonna die.
Yeah.
Tell you, this heat. I have the Bill de Blasio mask that is really thin, and it's a real good one. It's better than the surgical mask that you can breathe better through it. And with that, it's hard for me to still breathe. And I have I have the real masks, all the kind of masks. I have all of them. And you're not gonna survive in that heat, man. With that mask, you're not gonna survive in that heat. I don't care who you are or what you say. You're not gonna survive in that heat with that mask on. That's like,
right.
if anybody wants to feel how that feels, playing with a mask on, go to the subway station, 42nd Street, 34th Street, any train station that's hot right now. 90 degrees weather, go on the train station and see if you could breathe with that mask on. And try to stand there and try to breathe. You ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it.
Exactly.
You ain't gonna make it.
Exactly.
Just the other day, Tuesday, matter of fact, no, not Tuesday, Monday, we went to Target, right? And Target has air conditioning and everything inside. And I have my thin mask, and I was still having trouble breathing, man.
Right.
When it was a little colder before the summer hit, April, March, April, May, those months when it was still cold, like 60, 70 degrees, the mask is okay. You can breathe. It doesn't bother you. But upper 80s, 90s, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Oh no! So that is something there, and in yesterday's game, Gary Sanchez went deep, and the one squad, the Bombers, beat the Yankees 6-4, and we had Chad Green starting and Jordan Montgomery, and you saw that game over at Giselle's, your lady friend's house, and it must be fun for you to see some baseball, even if it's on TV. We're going to just have to take what we can get for now.
Yeah, I tell you one thing, man. The Yes Network's coverage is boring as hell, boy. It is boring, man. They need help, man. They really do. I watch the other teams, like Boston, the Chicago White Sox, Baltimore Orioles, Chicago Cubs, the Dodgers, St. Louis, the Reds. And they have better coverage than these guys. I mean, the Yankees have, the Yankee coverage is a camera behind home plate, like above the catcher type of thing, and that's all they have. That's all they show. You know what I mean? And then they go back to Meredith, Marakovich, and them like that, and it's like you just go to sleep. You're just basically going to sleep. The other teams, they have different
in the game.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yankees are always bland and everything. I hate them, seriously. Now the other teams, right? They got different camera angles. They play the instant replays, right? They show the players joking around. They show the players training on the side. They show the players talking to each other. The Yankees don't do none of that stuff, man. It's like, what am I watching? Like, you got to see the difference. I don't know if anybody watches baseball like I do. But man, it's like the Yes Network is the worst. The worst, man.
Anyway, for this coverage, who is calling the games? Who is the announcer? Who?
They got everybody. They're not even calling the game. They're just talking throughout the game. Like they have Flaherty, Uh, yesterday they had Paul O'Neill there. You know, like stuff like that. It's like, oh my god, it's like, what am I watching here? What am I listening to? You know, the other guys, they're actually calling the game. Oh, strike one, and it feels like a real game, like because they're talking about other stuff
Right.
at the same time. They're saying the game, you know, and what's happening, you know. But it's like, wow, man, Yes Network, man, they got problems, man. And you can't tell me you can't get cameramen in the stadium. I mean, you can't in Yankee Stadium. You cannot social distance cameramen. Like really, like you guys, man, are horrible. They just don't want to pay people the money. I understand. You want to keep it in your pocket. I get it. I get it.
Wow.
I get
So
it.
the coverage is not good. I have not really been able to see it myself. I've just been able to
Don't
see the
even
recap.
bother. Don't even bother. It's horrible. Don't even bother. You're wasting your time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that bad. It's really that bad, man. Like,
Hmm.
I change it. I change the channel. I can only
Wow.
watch maybe 20 minutes of it because it's like, my God, it's like, what am I watching here? It's like, I'd rather watch the KBO League than the Yankee summer camp.
Right.
That's how bad it is, man. But yeah, man, they need to get it
Hope,
together. But go ahead.
let's hope that the coverage improves once the regular season starts. As of
Yeah,
right now, I guess I've noticed that in the very old days, the beginning times of television, the late 40s and 1950s, the usual camera angle was from behind the catcher, and then they started to move in the camera angle from behind the pitcher from center field. They started to do that a little bit in the 50s and the 60s, but the majority of the camera angles, if you look at some of the old film clips from that time period, was
yeah,
from behind the catcher, a bit up
yeah.
in the stadium.
Yeah, that's true. In the 50s and some of the 60s, that's true. But now we're so
Right,
accustomed to seeing it the opposite way that it makes it a lot better where we can see the strike zone as well. You know what I mean? Because above the catcher,
right,
you can't see the strike zone. You know what I mean? You can only see if it goes high or low. You know, you really can't see anything. You know,
right.
so
So let's hope that the coverage improves when the regular season starts. I guess right now they're just kind of half-assing it a bit, and just have like one or two camera guys in there, and they're just you've given them low grades for the coverage of the inter squad. Then,
yeah, and I believe this is the reason why. The reason why they're doing that is they don't want to give up too many secrets. That's the reason why. Because why else would you
right,
do it? You know what I mean? I think the Yankees believe that if they show the camera on the pitcher too much, that people are gonna start picking up his faults. You know what I mean?
right,
But
exactly,
if that's the
exactly,
case, don't show too much of the pitcher. You know, that's why we need different camera angles. If you feel
right,
like they're gonna steal something from the pitcher, change it to something else. You know what I mean? And that's it. You know, but they
yeah,
want to keep that one camera, and I think that one camera could give away a lot of information as well too. You know, so
right,
you're not really fooling anybody by not giving away the extra footage. You know what I mean? You're not fooling anybody. They're gonna pick it up anyway. These guys are professionals. That's why they play in the Major League Baseball. You know, this is their
yes, exactly.
job. This is their job to figure you out. You know?
But the other teams are doing better on their inter squad, huh?
Yeah,
Coverage.
yeah. Check them out on YouTube, man. They're on
I
YouTube.
do. I saw the Dodgers. I saw some of the Dodgers,
I was.
and
They're on early in the morning. They're usually like Baltimore Orioles are on right now. They're playing now.
oh,
Yeah, so they usually start about 10 a.m. East Coast teams around 10 a.m. and the Dodgers are usually around 11 o'clock ish. They must play
mm,
super early over there,
well,
because
that would be 8 o'clock in the morning out in California.
yeah, so they must be doing 8 o'clock games over there. Why? I don't know why they're playing so early in the morning. Nobody plays baseball that early, but I guess they want to do it for the stamina and the exercise, you know? Or
Right.
you know why they play it so early in the morning? Because it's so hot in California.
Right.
So they have no choice but to play so early like that, before the temperature hits by lunchtime. I guess they're over, you know.
We had a nice cool snap that came in last night. We will be having major heat for the next couple of weeks, but we had a nice cool snap that came in the evening around 8 o'clock in the evening. It was very nice. We were able to open the windows and let some fresh, cool air in, and but it's going to be getting up hot again today. And after we do our show today, I'll get out and get my exercising in and take care of what I have to. But anyway, it's getting very close, and I believe that the first Yankees Mets game will be on
Saturday
Saturday. Yeah,
at
yes,
City
Saturday.
Field.
Right, they're going to be on Saturday, and let me see here. Saturday at 7:10, and Sunday
at
at 7:05.
Yankee
And let me
Stadium.
see if they're going to be showing it. No available content yet for these dates, so we'll see
They'll
if I
show it.
have it on.
They're gonna show it. They should be able to show it, those exhibition games, and then the Yankees are gonna play, I believe, Philly on Monday at Yankee Stadium. I
Right,
think the Philadelphia Phillies are coming in. So that'll
right.
be nice. Hopefully it's not too hot today to watch out for some more players today. Yesterday we saw Brett Gardner. We got to see Brett
Yes,
Gardner,
yeah.
clear as day too, man. I think they're starting to figure out that I'm out there watching them because now they're driving by with their windows open. I don't know if you noticed
Oh,
that. Yeah, they're starting to drive by with their windows open. So we saw Gabriel
wow.
Torres yesterday. Gabriel Torres in the matted black uh, Mercedes Benz, the Mercedes car. Then we saw Brett Gardner in the big what is that, a GMC truck or Chevrolet truck, something like that. One of those two,
Hmm.
you know.
He's
So
from South Carolina, so he would have a pickup truck.
yeah, that's what I would think too. And it had Florida license plates on it though, so he must live in
Oh,
Florida.
Florida plates.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a hillbilly at heart,
he likes
Brett
country
Gardner.
music walk up.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He likes I forget his name, but he likes that guy. He always has a song from that guy, you know. But and
Oh,
on Monday we saw Aaron Hicks in that orange Corvette. I thought it was a Ferrari, but it's actually a Corvette. You know.
wow, wow, a new Corvette. Yes, they've got some nice bank accounts in order to get these kind of cars. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, I guess 1 month of a season could pay off that car note real quick.
Right, exactly, exactly. And I really appreciate all of our friends that follow you. That is
Yeah.
wonderful. Our friends that check in, and we have a lot of nice guys. We have Chris coming on now, and Michael Caputo, and Bryson, and Kyle, and you have a nice little group of people that are following you now.
Yeah, man. Hopefully it grows, man. Hopefully we can meet all these people at Yankee Stadium one day as well. That'd be nice. And put them in the vlog. I'm dying to go vlog again, you know? But right
Yes, I
now,
know. As I said, we had so many plans. Right?
yeah, I know. So it's better for me. I think for right now, it's better for me just to live stream, what's going on. I think that's a better way to do it for now.
Right.
And yeah, opening night, I'll be there at 7 o'clock to show you guys, I'll be there maybe half an hour, 45 minutes of the first game, of the first inning or whatever. And then I'm going to go home and watch the games because I don't know how they're going to do it. Hopefully, I don't know if they're going to actually show the game on the big screen in the Great Hall. That's the problem, you
Right.
know, because if they're not
That
gonna,
would be great if they did.
that'll be nice if they did. But if they don't, I'm gonna be missing the game, and I'm not gonna have no clue on what's going on inside. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
you could maybe bring some little headphones or something and have the radio broadcast
yeah, that's what I'm
or
gonna have
the
to do. I got my radio there. I probably have to do that, and listen to it on the Susan Warman. I'm sure they're gonna be there, right? Susan Warman
I
and
hope
John
so.
Sterling.
I've been trying to find that out. I've been trying to look in because John Sterling is in his early 80s now, and so he's high risk, for the COVID-19. The older people are more high risk for serious complications for COVID-19.
Yeah,
So he may do it remote. Maybe he'll be doing it from his home, the way they're doing the KBO games, and where he would be have a screen and call it that way, a
yeah,
monitor. But I
yeah,
don't know if he'll be coming to the stadium.
yeah. That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe they might do it from home, like you said. They might give them a special feed, you know.
Right,
But the problem is with that is that the feed um is delayed a few seconds, you know?
right,
So you won't be hearing it, as it happens, pretty much, because the radio is as close as you're gonna get to as it happens, as it possibly can. The TV is off too, about half a minute or so. You know what I mean? It's
right.
the TV is off half a minute because I don't, I guess because of the signals that go from the earth and back down, it takes a while to get to the
Right.
TV.
It has to hit the satellite.
So there's a delay. There's been times I've been talking to you and you was watching the game on the live stream, and it's a few minutes behind,
Yes,
right?
and I've noticed that when I'm at Yankee Stadium and I had that little low tech radio and I was listening to John Sterling, I would be watching the live play. And at Yankee Stadium, it's about 2 or 3 seconds behind. But the further away from Yankee Stadium I go, by the time I'm close to 300 miles away down here in West Virginia. It seems to be about a minute off, or 30 seconds to a minute off by that point.
Yeah, yeah, I can see maybe a second off or something like that at the stadium. But in the stadium, they have John Sterling and Susan Woman playing throughout the stadium, throughout the
Right.
halls. And
I
that's
know.
actually live. That's actually live. There's no delay in it because you can actually watch the game and listen to them at the same time and you're going to hear what's happening. After the
Sure.
crowd does their screaming, then you hear John
Right.
Sterling again. You know what I mean?
Yes, if you have to use the restroom or whatever, it's playing everywhere. So you don't miss anything.
Yeah, yeah, and it's pretty much on time too, man. That's the crazy part about technology, man. That is so is so how you say resourceful now, man, and it's so portable as well now. That's the great thing about it, man. You know?
In the early 1920s, the early days of the 1923 Yankees, when Yankee Stadium opened, they did not have a intercom system in Yankee Stadium in the early 20s. They had someone walking around with a megaphone. They had several people walking around with megaphones, yelling into the megaphone and announcing the game.
Could you imagine? You probably couldn't even hear anything or what they would say. You know what I mean?
And so yes, I mean the technology difference from 100 years, absolutely. The old Yankee Stadium was a modern marvel at that time period. It was built on an old lumber yard that used to be an old lumber yard, and the Yankees were playing at the Polo Grounds in the 19 teens, and then they started to outdraw the Giants, and the Giants were the main tenants of the Polo Grounds, and the Giants kicked the Yankees out of Yankee Stadium because they started to outdraw the Giants. And John McGraw said, "Let them go and wither away in the Bronx." Little did he know, and then they built a massive Yankee Stadium on that area there, and history is history now.
Yeah, history is history, man. And that stadium, the old stadium, was a piece of work, man. It went
Yes,
through its renovations and whatnot and what have yous, but the brand new stadium that we have now is 100 times better than the old one. You know,
Oh, well, it's a beautiful, beautiful modern stadium. It's only, what, 11 years old now? It still looks beautiful.
I think. Do you think? I don't know. Maybe 75 years from now, this stadium will be rebuilt or reimagined again.
Well, let's hope that there's even human beings walking near 75 years from now. Remember, we have a climate crisis, but I won't be a doomer about that. But
Could
what I will say is, maybe another half a century, they might have to do some major renovations or what have you. But I'm really dealing with one day at a time at this point. We'll have to take it one day at a time and see where things go. As of right now, this Yankee Stadium is perfect and beautiful and ready to go for many more years.
How about this one? Could you imagine? Let's say 75 years from now again, right? They come up with the idea to build a new Yankee Stadium back across the street to mirror the old Yankee Stadium.
Wow. Wow.
Could you imagine
Yeah,
that?
they just keep going back and forth.
Right?
Yeah,
I
it
truly
is hard to.
I truly doubt that ever happened. I'm just, joking around, but could you
Oh,
imagine?
yes. We're just
Could you imagine if they 75 years from now they build the old Yankee Stadium back on the other side, maybe with a dome on top? you know,
right.
you never know.
Who knows what they'll have? Maybe the Yankees will be taking road trips to Mars by then. You
Right?
know,
Playing on a different planet, right? But I
they'll be
think,
flying on.
but I think the
They'll be flying
stadium.
on Elon Musk's
No, go ahead.
spaceship to Mars to play the
yeah,
Martian team.
yeah, that's true, man. But I think the stadium could last a while because they know how to repair it, and they know how to fix it up like they did with the ground, with the floors of the concourse, the Great Hall. They repaved the floors to make it nice again. So I think that stadium
Oh,
could last a while. You know, will it need upgrades? I don't think so. I wouldn't. I don't think
well,
so.
little things here and there. They'll have to do maintenance. These things require upkeep, and they're going to have to constantly maintain it.
But the greatest part of all of this is that no matter what, through the COVID virus or stadiums change or whatever, you're still gonna see the same baseball game that was played 100 years ago, no matter what. Maybe the rules have
Right.
changed a little bit, but it's still the same game 100% that they saw 100 years ago. You know what I mean? It's still
Maybe
the same game.
75 years from now, maybe 75 years from now, they'll have the radar gun on the pitcher. Oh, okay, that was a good fastball at 164 miles per hour.
Well, probably the ball will be the radar gun, right?
Right.
It'll give you all
But I went
kind of
to,
velocity.
obviously, I was at the old Yankee Stadium before the renovation in the mid 70s, as a little child. I'm in my mid 50s, an older dude. And my grandfather brought me to my first Yankee game the year I was going into kindergarten when I was my nephew's age. And that was Mickey Mantle Day. So I was in Yankee Stadium before its first renovation. And I have a childhood's memory of it still. I obviously remember better from the old film clips, obviously. But it had a lot. I remember the posts. It had poles that were going around Yankee Stadium, and you can get an obstructed seat where you would be sitting and there would be a pole in the way. And the seats were the same. They were a light blue. They were a bluish green, actually. They were blue, but they had faded a bit. And the halls were very narrow. And but it was the majestic cathedral of the Yankee Stadium, even back then. And then,
Yeah.
it really started to fall into disrepair in the early 70s. And then the Yankees played at Chase Stadium for 2 years in 74 and 75 as they did major renovations on Yankee Stadium. And I also saw the Yankees play at Chase Stadium when I was in Little League as a 10-year-old.
Wow, man. Yeah, man. The old stadium. I know the old stadium as well as the back of my hand. And my dad worked behind the Yankees batter circle for many years there, and I've sat behind the mayor's box plenty of times and watched many of games behind there. So it's been great, man. You know, I used to get it for free too sometimes, a lot of the times too, in the Yankee Stadium
I
and
was
watch the
only at
game.
2 World Series games. I was at 2 World Series, and I knew those World Series, but I was at the World Series Game 3 and Game 5 at Yankee Stadium in 1978 when the Yankees played the Dodgers and beat the Dodgers in 6 games. I was at Game 3 and Game 5. And in Game 5, Jim Beebe, I don't know if you remember that name, Jim Beebe, was a pitcher that was a rookie that year and had a really strong victory over the Dodgers in Game 5. And the Yankees won 12-2. And in Game 3, that was the game where Ron Guidry was pitching. Ron Guidry was 25 wins and 3 losses that year, with a 1.74 earned run average and 248 strikeouts. And he did not have his best stuff in Game 3. And some line drive shots, some hard shots were getting hit down the third base line against Guidry. And Greg Nettles made some incredible plays at third base, and I was on the third base side too. And that's when they started comparing Greg Nettles' fielding to Brooks Robinson.
Yeah, I was Greg Nettles was one of the heaviest third basemen. Greg Nettles is the one that taught Alex Rodriguez on how to play third base when he moved over to the Yankees. That's how bad he was. You know what I mean? So yeah, the old stadium, man. It's so much that went on in that place. You know, and yeah, it was terrible, man. You couldn't walk around or nothing there.
Oh
The
well, the halls were so narrow. You were packed in there. Trying to get through the halls, and then the way you can see the field from all areas because this stadium is so open. If you did not go down that hallway out into the seating area, you could not see anything going on the field. When you were in
right.
the halls, you were in that concrete area.
Right. Yeah, it was like a bomb shelter. That's what it felt like,
Right,
a bomb shelter. You know what I mean? And remember the first floor? The first floor was painted purple. Remember? It was
right,
painted purple around, and then that was the only purple that was there. It was like it matched the same color as MSG, Madison Square Garden. Remember that reddish purple that they had?
yeah.
That was painted around the walls and the bottom of the stadium for I don't know what reason. Well, they were with
Right.
MSG at the time too, so I think that's what it was. You know?
And in 2008, I had a ticket plan of going to 9 games. I was still up in the New York, New Jersey area, and I went to a lot of my games with a good friend of mine named Lynn Marie, who was an older woman. And we had a ticket plan of 9 games. And we would go up on the escalator. And the Yankee Stadium was falling into a disrepair at that time period, too, because as we were traveling up on the escalator, the handrail was going faster than the escalator itself.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm hanging on, and my arm is moving up. It was
Right.
kind of dangerous, actually.
Yeah, it was. It was, yeah. And you know what? Those things never broke down though.
Right,
You know, they would put him the opposite way for when the game started, and then they'll aim him down when the game ended, so people could go down on the escalator. So most of the time, they usually turned them off at the ending of the game. They usually turned them off, and you have to walk down the uh, the
the
escalator thing.
70s were crazy. The 70s were absolutely crazy. I mean, the Yankee fans of the late 70s. I mean, there would be guys walking around with joints, smoking joints, and passing joints around and everything. And as a 14-year-old, I guess I was a little tall for my age. I was playing JV baseball at that time. And I would walk right up to the concession stand and get myself a big beer at 14
Wow,
years old. And
wow,
that would hold me over for the game as a 14-year-old, you know. And I would get quite a buzz as a 14-year-old off the big beer, and
yeah,
that so I had my beers as a teenager at Yankee Stadium.
yeah. I can imagine, man. Yeah, it was wild,
Yeah,
man. It was wild, man. I remember when we went to the 1998 World Series. It was so wild in the bleachers that we had to watch the game the next day.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
that's how bad it was. You know, it's everybody doing everything, screaming and talking, and then the Yankees were winning, so forget about it. It was a party. It was
Well,
a
they would
party.
charge the field after the Yankees won anything. I remember in '76, the '76 Yankees played against the Kansas City Royals in the American League Championship Series, and that series went 5 games. And Chris Chambliss hit a walk-off home run off of Mark Littell of the Kansas City Royals in 1976, and hit the walk-off home run, and the Yankees won the pennant over the Royals. And the fans charged the field. It was dangerous. Chris Chambliss was trying to get around the bases,
Yeah.
and there were thousands of fans on the field.
I believe that happened to Reggie Jackson, right? When he hit that home run.
That happened the following year in '77. That went on for a while in '76, '77, '78. Whenever the Yankees won a pennant or won a World Series, the fans would charge the field. It was out of control in the '70s.
Yeah, man. Oh, Henry. Thank you, Henry, for the happy birthday wish, man. I appreciate it, man. And we'll be back on
Hi,
live
Henry. How are you
in
doing?
front of Yankee Stadium about 1 o'clock. So stay tuned to that too. We'll be going back to Yankee Stadium at 1. So, but yeah, the Yankee Stadium was wild, man.
Yes,
It was no
yes, it
joke.
has. They've
You know.
got it. I mean, it's still pretty boisterous, no doubt about it now, but it's a bit more under control. They really started to get it back under control by the '90s when the Yankees won the '96 championship. You know, they had all the police on the horses around the outfield. And that's when they really got it back under control and no one was really going out on the field anymore.
Yeah, I
And
think
Wade Boggs got on the back of the horse.
I think they stopped the going on the field thing in the '80s when they started going broke.
Right, right. But the late '70s, that was wild. I was also at a pennant winning game in '78 as well. See, my mother's second husband, Victor, was was close friends with Phil Rizzuto. They would go out to dinner, and he had a lot of connections with the Yankees because he also had his advertising agency. So I had a lot of opportunities to get into a lot of important Yankee games. And in '78, I saw the Yankees beat the Kansas City Royals, and Goose Gossage finished up the game. And they charged the field that night too. Obviously, I didn't do it. I stayed right up there. I was a 14-year-old kid, but so that was a regular thing they were doing whenever the Yankees won. They would go out on the field.
Yeah, man. I remember the last year of the Yankee Stadium being open. I remember vividly the last because I went to the all 3 games of the Cincinnati Reds to see Ken Griffey Jr. play for the last time at
Hmm.
Yankee Stadium, and I paid for 1 game and got into the other games for free. Now the last game, I'll never forget it. He was on the Cincinnati Reds. It was dark, gloomy those games. It was a rainy weather pasture going through that rainy system that week, and I never forget how it looked and how he looked when he was playing. Man, he didn't hit anything those games. He hit just pop ups, but I never forget, man. Ken Griffey Jr. running off the field right in front of me like that because I was right behind the dugout, right behind the batter circle. So I could see him super close, man, and it looked like in his face that he wanted to hit a home run so bad because he hated the Yankees so bad. You know what I mean? And he didn't do
Right.
it. But
Well,
he waited
at
for it.
my age, I saw Ken Griffey Sr. playing for the Yankees.
Yeah, that's where the turmoil happened. Because
Right.
there was some racism going on there with Steinbrenner and
Right.
and Griffey and all that for whatever reason nobody knows. But they told Griffey Jr. he couldn't be on the dugout. Meanwhile, Greg Nettles' son was taking ground balls at third base. He's on the field, but they won't let Ken Griffey Jr. on the dugout. So there was some tension there, and that's why Griffey never became a Yankee. But other than that, Griffey
Right.
would have became a Yankee, man. If Steinbrenner never would have did that, Griffey would have been a Yankee, man. Then there would have been no Bernie
Steinbrenner
Williams or
had some
nothing.
problems.
Yeah,
There were some difficulties with Steinbrenner. He was a mixed bag.
yeah, he was. he did a lot of things secretly that you didn't know why he
Right.
did it, but he just did it, So, but other than that, man, he could have been a Yankee, and who knows? We probably would have never won no championships if we would have got Ken Griffey Jr. as the center fielder. We would have been the Seattle Mariners of the day, and maybe Seattle would have won, the World Series all them time.
And also, as a young kid, for me, I saw Bobby Bonds play.
Yeah, well, I saw Barry
Very,
Bonds.
yeah, I saw Bobby Bonds as a kid. Well, there's a 20-year age difference between us. So your 90s were my 70s. As a kid.
Yeah,
You know,
man. I think the best father duo was the Griffeys, though. They got to
right,
hit a home run together, back to back, and all that. So that was cool.
right. So I guess it's about time for you to start to eat some lunch and head over, huh?
Yeah, definitely, man. I'll make me a ham and cheese sandwich and go over to Yankee Stadium for
And
to
I'm
see
gonna
who we can
go out
see.
and get my exercising. I'm gonna go out and get my exercising and try to catch up with you.
Yeah,
And hello, Henry. Thank you for following BX Bomber again. You guys are really good guys. We appreciate it.
yeah, we definitely do, man. We don't have a big following like these other idiots that have no content whatsoever. But we're gonna be
Oh,
there,
we're
man.
just regular fans.
Well, my dream is, Roger, to have a TV show, man. And hopefully we can have it on the
Hmm.
Travel Channel or the MLB Network. Either or. I'll take it.
Excellent.
All right. So we want to thank everybody for watching. Go over to Instagram, Twitter, BxBomber2011. Follow me there. Follow Roger on Instagram as well. And we'll see all y'all on the next one. And I'll see you at 1 o'clock.
Take care.
So long, everybody. See ya.